Hello and welcome to GCTV, and we have with us some honored guests from the Honorable Chartered County of Wayne. We have with us Glenn Anderson, our representative here in Garden City for Wayne County Commissioner, 12th District, and we have Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. And we are here to talk about all of the things that we can do to make sure that your homes are in your families for a long, long time and you're able to enjoy it here in Garden City and throughout Wayne County. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm
Glad to
glad
be
you're
here
here
myself.
as well. We've talked many times about many of the things that we have in common, and one of those things is that we want to make sure that our residents and our constituents have every opportunity to stay in their houses, and that as the economic turn come and go, that they're able to save that most vital asset that they have, their home. And that's a big part of what you guys do.
It is, and I know that this treasurer has done a fantastic job of trying to reduce the amount of foreclosures. And as you mentioned, we all want people to maintain and to be able to stay in their home. And anything that we can do to make that happen, of course, everyone sitting here would do that.
And it's a team effort because there are ways to do that on many levels. There's here at the local level here in Garden City. There's the state level and the programs they have. But as Commissioner Anderson said, you have a lot of programs that allow people to stay in their homes.
Right, we really do. And Allyson, I want to also say that we have, and you talk about a team effort, we have, really have a team effort here. The mayor, your office, and the Commissioner Anderson, others have helped reduce foreclosures here in Garden City. We had last year just 5 foreclosures for property taxes here in Garden City.
Isn't that wonderful?
And the year before was 12.
Yes.
So we're getting down to, last year we had 12 municipalities in Wayne County that had 0 foreclosures. And we had 15 others that had 10 or less. So Garden City's in that group of 15 that had 10 or less. Our goal this year is 0 foreclosures.
And
We're talking about owner-occupied homes. Maybe someone may lose a vacant lot. We may not be able to stop all the foreclosures. But for anyone that lives in a house, that owns the home, our goal is 0 foreclosures. And we're working hard. We have Western Wayne Conference, the Downriver Community Conference. We work with the Eastern Conference and Detroit. Let them know early. We're going to do it this Friday at the joint meeting. Let the communities know what's facing foreclosure. Then what happens, the communities have worked with us for the last 2 years, knocked on doors, made phone calls, gone out and talked to the residents that they know. Many of these people, they know who they are. And they call them up and say, your house is in danger of foreclosure. And a lot of times people say, I didn't know. I'm not sure. Some people are seniors and they forgetful, and I know I'm forgetful. Someone is 20 years older than I am.
Yes.
I understand if they forget something.
Right.
So they say, I didn't realize it. I thought I paid the taxes. So this is the effort that is really working hard. We have a number of programs, as you mentioned. One of them is called Distressed Owner Occupant Extension. If someone owes 2015 taxes, they don't owe any taxes before that, and they're not sure they can make monthly payments on a payment plan. We give them until December of 2018 to pay their 2015 taxes. They can sign up for that. All they have to do is sign an affidavit, say their income is low, and they can't make monthly payments. They can't commit to doing that. So that's one plan we have. We also have an interest reduction payment agreement, which is 6% a year. And that plan was approved by the state legislature.
Because
before.
what is it normally?
18% a year.
Wow, that's a huge reduction.
It's 1.5% per month. But now if you're an owner occupant, you can pay 0.5% per month on the unpaid balance. And you have 5 years to pay it. And the other thing is you can put multiple years of delinquencies into your plan. Because the other plan that we have is a year-by-year payment plan. And that's for any rental properties, businesses, or properties that you don't live in, that you may own. And that plan is a year-by-year. You have to renew it every year, and you basically are paying 10% a month till you pay it off. So those are the 3 plans that we have. The interest reduction plan is the best plan. One of the things about that plan is that you also have to pay your current taxes as part of the agreement, because the payment is very low for the delinquency, so it allows a person to budget for their current taxes. So the more taxes that the municipalities collect currently, then people fall less into delinquency. So the goal is in 5 years or less, the person in this plan will be able to get rid of their delinquency and be current and never fall back in again.
And so it doesn't just continue on, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. You're getting caught up, and then you're able to stay caught up.
Right, and then we spend a lot of time educating taxpayers about what being late means. Because being late also means you're paying interest and penalties that you really don't have to pay. Some people can afford to pay their taxes on time, and they just delay. You know, they procrastinate and say, well, I got 3 years, I don't have to worry. But with those 3 years, you may end up paying double what you could have paid if you paid it on time. So it helps the cities if you get the money on time, because the cash flow is important too.
It sounds like a win-win, because it's costing you less as a taxpayer, and it's getting more money into the city that provides the services for you.
Exactly.
That sounds good.
You as a treasurer know all about that.
Well, I try to keep abreast on it, but but tell me a little bit about some of the other programs that you guys have.
Well, we have something for veterans. If you're a veteran, you don't have to put any money down for a payment plan. You just sign up for it. Your DD was it D221? Is that the form?
Yes.
And you bring that in and show that you're a veteran, and you don't have to put any money down. Sign up for the plan, just the next month comes and start paying.
Wow.
Also, there's a Veterans Trust Fund that's administered by the county. It's a state money it's really comes from Veterans Affairs, and it's to help veterans who are facing foreclosure. So a veteran, but you have to be a wartime veteran to do that.
Okay.
So also, if you're 100% disabled veteran, then you should apply to your local assessor's office for a tax exemption, 100% exemption.
And we are encouraging our veterans in the Garden City area to do just that. One of the things, you have to be 100% disabled as declared by the Veterans Administration. You have to be, or you can be unemployable, but the Veterans Administration determines all of this, and it gives you an opportunity to just have some exemption on your taxes and get some relief in that way.
One of the things I was going to mention that when I was in the state senate, we passed that bill. And I know there was some concern about it. I actually introduced the first bill, and one of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, because he was in the majority, was able to get his bill passed. But mine passed through committee, and it was one way to help our disabled veterans. And working with Michigan Municipal League and others, we were able to gain their support to get that through the legislature. And I was really pleased about that, that is helping our disabled veterans especially.
That was important to a lot of our soldiers who have come back and need some assistance as they migrate back into everyday life.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Very good. Well, I heard something about Taxpayer Saturdays.
Oh yes, this is the 5th year that the Wayne County Treasurer's Office has gone to different campuses of the Wayne County Community College District in February. Every Saturday in February, we're at a different campus.
Oh, very cool.
This week, well, we have the 2nd week we'll be in Taylor. The 3rd week we're on the East Campus in Detroit and Conner, and the 4th week we're downtown Detroit. Last week we were on Northwest Campus.
Oh, very
It's
good.
free parking, and from 10 to 2 we're there. We also have budgeting classes that we're conducting. So if anyone needs some assistance on how to budget, or how personal budgeting, the banks, some of our banks and nonprofits have participated in the budgeting classes.
Well, that will be, because you want to teach a habit so that you're not overwhelmed. I think a lot of times people feel overwhelmed and they feel like there's nothing that they can do. But it's good to have these programs, because you want to make sure that people know that there's help out there and that you can get through this, and we're here to help you.
Yeah, as people struggle through the downturn in the economy back in 2008 and 9, they're just recovering. A lot of people are just recovering. And the monthly payment plans are really helping them, because they budget monthly. And when I started in the Treasurer's Office as a deputy working under Ray Wojtovich, we had just a few hundred payment plans. But now we have over 30,000 payment plans.
That must be
we manage.
difficult to manage.
Well, not really
No?
difficult. About 80% of the people pay on time, and they less than 2 payments behind.
Okay.
But we have a few that are struggling, but we're working with them because it's a win-win if people can stay in their property, and everyone benefits.
And everyone benefits from that.
Well, as far as the convenience, though, you've come up with some new plans to make
Oh,
it
yeah,
more convenient
yes,
for people to div
Yeah, I'll
that
tell you
and-
about the kiosk
Yeah.
program that we started in August of 2016. Let me tell you, the last 15 months, we've had over 95,000 transactions at 40 different kiosks throughout the Wayne County. And we're always looking for more locations. I know Commissioner Anderson's been after me to get more get one in Garden City and Westland. And we're working on that. We just got one in Romulus about 2 weeks ago. So we're trying to expand. The kiosk program makes it easy for people. You don't have to come downtown. It accepts cash, credit cards, or checks. And you can save the gas money and the parking.
So you're telling me that I can go and pay my tax bill or some other bill at the county, and I can just bring cash? I don't even have to bring a check or a money order or go
Yeah.
to
You can go to
Walmart
right.
or anything?
One of the kiosks will take cash, credit cards, or check. You can pay your county delinquent taxes. You can pay your DTE bill or Detroit water bill. And some of the cities are joined. The city of Detroit joined in, can pay their current taxes at the kiosk. And I think Romulus is trying to join, and a few other cities. About 4 or 5 other cities are trying to join in.
Well, that's pretty
It's
convenient.
very convenient. We also have a mobile app now. In the last few weeks, we just introduced a mobile app that you can pay by credit card or check right off your phone, right off your cell phone. So making it easy.
The millennials will love that
Oh, yeah.
part.
Yes.
So what's the name of the app, and how do you get it? Do you
It's
just
di-
go to
it's-
the App
Go
Store?
DivDat. Go to the App Store and look for DivDat. DIVDAT. That's the name of the company, DivDat, that owns the actual kiosk.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in and order that and download it.
Well,
And,
we have a 24-hour facility right here in Garden City, so we're ready for that kiosk anytime you would like.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me about, when did you start doing the mobile app?
Just about 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Oh.
we just launched it. Yeah.
Wow,
People are
excellent.
using it.
So
Yeah.
you heard it here first.
Yeah, yes, it's working. See, the thing about the mobile app, it costs the county treasurer's office less money because we pay per transaction.
Oh,
So if
okay.
more people that use the mobile app, the more money it'll save the county. So that's
Oh,
why
that's
we're
a very
promoting
good
the
thing.
mobile app. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, good thing.
I was going to mention one last thing about the kiosk.
Yes.
Give us some numbers and to tell us. I mean, I think people would be interested to hear the success of it.
Oh, yeah.
That what you're seeing as far as the payment plans and
Payment plans, and we're bringing in more money through using the kiosk. And like I said, the last 15 months, over 95,000 transactions. You know, we have over $25 million just in kiosks.
for the
revenue.
citizen. There's not having
No,
to
there's
drive
no-
to
there's no-
Detroit and park and.
No cost to anyone using the kiosk. The county pays for it. Actually, it saves us overtime costs because we used to have long lines. People were working till 8 and 9 o'clock at night to accommodate the long lines. And so it saves us overtime. And then also, we're actually bringing in more money because people, what they'll do, if they have a payment plan, for instance, that says $200 a month, and they're at a Rite Aid drugstore, when they see a kiosk and they have $50, they'll just put $50 in to pay down on their bill.
Because I'm just right here.
Because I'm right here and I have it and I don't want to spend it, so I'll pay it on my taxes. So we have the cash is coming in even more because people are paying more regularly. Yeah.
Eric, where are the locations of those? Is there I'm
There's-
talking
yeah.
about a website.
You can go to the treasure.waynecounty.com and you can find, go to our website and it has a list of all the kiosk locations. And it also will tell you the hours of operation of the locations.
And I gotta tell you, our Garden City residents love that, so we printed out what we got from the website,
Good.
and we can say, hey, because nobody wants to park downtown, they just wanna go
No.
downtown for games, so.
And then, you know, sometimes like during the auto show week or they'll charge $40.
Yeah.
Tigers games are $40.
Yeah.
So really, you're trying to pay your taxes and you're behind. So why now you want to pay extra $40, $50, and then don't get a parking ticket
No,
because that's $45. So it just makes it more depressing.
It's just way
It's already bad enough that you have to come down and pay. but then to have to get a ticket or pay $40 to park or $30 to park, it's just, we're just trying to make it easy. And you know what? We found that the easier you make it for people to pay, the more money they'll pay.
The more money they'll pay. Well, that sounds like a really good idea. What other contact information do they need to know
Well,
so that
I
they
can give
can
you-
find out about the programs we've been talking
Sure,
about?
sure. Our number, 313-224-5990. That's 313-224-5990. Or they can email us, taxinfo@waynecounty.com. That's taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
And you'll get a response from the
Oh, yeah,
email?
we answer all emails every day.
Excellent,
Yeah.
that's excellent. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, though, is before the taxes become delinquent, there are some things that people can do to keep from getting to that point.
Yeah.
And so that happens more on my end, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
So that residents know. We talked a little bit about poverty exemptions. If people are having a hardship, you've lost your job, or you were laid off for a time being, or you had an illness, or some other circumstances that made you a little bit behind on your bills. One of the things that we can do is you can apply for a poverty exemption, which allows your taxes to actually be lowered, to the dollar amount of your taxes to be lowered so that you're better able to afford them. And I know that comes from the state legislature from quite a while ago. But that's one of the programs that we like to encourage people to know that they can do. You can do it 3 times a year at any of our Board of Reviews, and it would be good for that entire tax year, but you do have to do it each year to make sure your circumstance
That's-
hasn't changed.
That's correct.
But you can do it in March at the March Board of Review, you can do it at the July Board of Review, and you can do it at the December Board of Review. And again, what that says is, I'm going to lower the amount of my taxes just for a little while until my circumstances change, and then that way, it makes it so that I don't have to become delinquent, or I don't have to get into a situation where I need help paying my taxes, because this is a little bit easier. Glenn, do you remember about summer deferments?
No, I'd love to hear more about that, because it's something that I think is something that would be beneficial to a lot of people.
It is, because everybody's situation isn't catastrophic. And sometimes you just need a little bit more time. So one of the things, and this is a longstanding policy of the state legislature, that they allow us local units to do, is to defer. And that's just put off without any penalty or interest, the payment of your summer taxes. So now for a city like Garden City, your summer tax is the larger bill. And you want to make sure that you're able to pay that. The deadline is usually August 31st. But this deferment allows you to put that off until February 14th. And it just gives you a little bit more time to pay. So if you had to put a roof on, and so that took a hit on your savings that you've put aside for the tax bill, or some other circumstance such as that, then this will allow you a little bit more time to pay. Now, you have to apply for it by September 15th. And then if you apply for it by September 15th, then that exemption will give you until basically 6 months or 5 months to pay it without penalty. And so that's another way that you can keep from falling behind, so that you are, able to manage your finances a little bit. A lot of times people want to wait until they get their tax refund and see if that will help pay towards their taxes, and so that's always a good
Those are
policy.
certain qualifying guidelines, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a guideline. I think your income, your household income has to be $40,000 or less, and you have to be disabled or 62. I'm getting a little close. Or the spouse of a disabled person. And so you can come to our office at any time, or you go to our website, and all of those requirements are listed there for you.
I don't know if we haven't covered it yet, but I know Eric has come into the commission and told us about the Step Forward plan.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Yeah,
know
I'll
if
tell you a
wanted
little
to
bit.
sum- yeah.
Sure, I'll tell you a little bit about that. Step Forward is a program that's administered by the state of Michigan, the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. It's federal money. It's hardest hit funds that was sent to Michigan. These funds were sent to Michigan to help because of Michigan was hit very hard. So, appropriately named. So, it allows a taxpayer who's had some hardship, who had a owner occupant again. You have a deed in your name. A hardship caused you to become in danger of foreclosure. So you can go apply for this program, and the state will give a forgivable loan up to $30,000 for all delinquent and current taxes.
And I understand that's not just for Texas.
No, it's also for mortgage foreclosure. Anyone that's facing mortgage foreclosure as well.
Excellent.
And it's worked. Well, Wayne County's received a lot of money, over $75 million. And many people have been taken out of foreclosure through the Step Forward program. StepForwardMichigan.org. That's the website to apply, StepForwardMichigan.org. Now, here's how it works. If you bought the property, for instance, in 2014, if you have delinquent taxes from 2013 and 12 that you bought the taxes, then they're not going to pay the taxes from 12 and 13.
Right.
They'll pay the taxes from 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Well, in July, it'll be the 18s. But they'll pay the current and the back taxes. But only you have to have a deed in your name for the taxes that they'll pay. So that's how it works. So if you bought a property in 1999, and you owe taxes from 2013, 14, and 15, you'll be fine. But if you bought it in 15 and you owe taxes from 13 to 14, then you have to pay those first before they'll consider helping you with the other delinquencies.
Okay.
So that's how it works. And it's helped a lot of people. It's not for everyone. It's a lot of paperwork involved. You have to follow through, but it does work. StepForwardMichigan.org.
And those also sites are all available on the city's website,
Yes.
and we can provide the links so that you can get to those.
Yes.
They are really good programs, and this is probably the theme that we want to make sure we get out to people, is that there's help out there.
There's help out there. Don't be afraid to come in and ask for help. Don't sit back and think it's going to go away by itself. You know, don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid. Come and ask for help. Go to your local treasurer or come down to Wayne County Treasurer's office or give us a call.
With that, could you maybe run through some of the timelines or the deadlines
sure,
on
sure.
taxes?
Sure, let's look at this. The statutory deadline for paying delinquent taxes that are facing foreclosure is March 31st. And in most counties in the state, after March 31st, you don't have any ability to redeem your property. You've lost it. But in Wayne County, what we do, because we have a lot of contested cases, people have the right to go to court and contest the foreclosures. We have a number of contested cases going to court, and it usually takes us till the end of May before we get finished with the contested cases. So during that time, we let people still redeem their properties, get into payment plans, pay the taxes off. But the first week of June, we usually get a final judgment, foreclosure, and then the statute says you have to have 21 days after that, the final judgment, for people to redeem, which takes us to the last week of June, usually June 27th, 28th, when we say, that, okay, that's it. Then we have to prepare the list for the right of refusal, which allows the city, well, first the state, then the city or municipality, and then the county to take these properties before the auction by paying the back taxes. So it's the right of refusal process and then the auction. So once we give that list to state, city, and county, then person has no ability to redeem the property. So they can go until June. We don't encourage people to wait. And then also some people think, well, I'll just wait, I'll get it out before the auction. They don't know that the properties can be taken by the state, the municipality, or the county before the auction. So don't wait thinking the auction is in September and you can get it out before then because it's too late.
And Eric, I will say that you guys do a great job of notifying people of what's going to happen. You're out there, you're sending certified letters, you're putting notices on the physical property. And one of the things that you guys do that I love is that you send us a list of those properties that are pending foreclosure.
Yes.
And then and our city manager, we go out and we knock on your door and say, because we're small enough that we can do that. But we go out there and say, hey, you don't have to lose your property. You've got some Hail Mary last minute things that you can do to save your property, and we want that to
And
happen for you.
that's the participation that we love, the cooperation that we get from all the municipalities. It makes the job easier, because we don't really want the property.
No.
We don't want the property. If we wanted to foreclose on property, we wouldn't do anything.
Right.
We would just be quiet, and people would lose their property. But that's not what we want. We want people to stay in their property, because we're not going to collect any taxes if they're gone. And in the city, you have another abandoned house, you have another
Right.
homeless person.
Affect
and
on property values.
and it's going to affect property values. And I spoke to some of our banks, and they said, you know, it's very important to them that we help people stay in their properties, because they're trying to make loans
Right,
to
and they're making
mortgages,
money.
and you know they can't loan money when the values are so low.
Right.
So it's hard for them to loan money. So they really are behind us with this foreclosure prevention. Yeah.
As we mentioned about the effect on property values, and I've worked with appraisers in the past, and when we were at the bottom, and actually even in the last few years, the property values are dropped so much during the recession, and it's even complicated when you have those properties that fall into foreclosure that affects the property values, and then someone buys the home, say some young couple or someone moves in and they buy the home, and they pay what appears to be a fair price. The appraisers then can't find comparable homes that they can use in their appraisal for the mortgage company. So it has a domino effect. One of the things I did want to ask you, I think it's worth repeating, is that once someone gets into a payment plan, they have to stick with the payment plan, correct?
It's important to stay with the payment plan. We have, like I said, about 80% of the people are less than 2 payments behind, like 1 payment behind, or current. The other 20% of folks, it could be anywhere from 2 payments behind to 15 payments behind. So some people will be removed from payment plans. And that's our real target, the folks who are behind, because we're letting them know, come in, catch up. You have some time to catch up now. Don't wait until June, because we won't be able to save you. You have to do something. I'll tell you a quick story. Last year, we had June 1st, I asked for the number of people who owe less than $1,000. So staff pulled out the numbers. I thought it would be a couple hundred people. 2,769 people owe less than $1,000. They're about to lose their property. So we called them.
amazing.
We had our interns working in our office, and staff people calling them every day, full time, texting them, email, writing letters, going to the house. And we got all those people either in payment plans or paid in full, except 106 people.
Oh, very good.
So for the 106 people, many of them were people who had medical bills that were just astronomical. They couldn't afford to do anything but buy medicine and just keep the lights and gas on.
Yeah.
You know, they were basically just surviving. So just a few hundred people of the 106 were in that group. There were some that didn't respond at all.
They just don't care.
They didn't respond. We don't know what happened. But we had some private donors last year who raised the money to pay all those taxes for the 106. And the only thing we told them is you had to come in and get into a payment plan so that you're not in the same condition next year.
Right, right.
So for most of them did. We had a few that did. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But that was private money that the people felt, hey, you know what, we can help. We don't want anybody to lose their house for $500, $600. But see, just to show you, I tell you that story because it shows you how close almost 3,000 people were to losing their property.
For something
For
that could be
nothing.
avoided.
You can go out and borrow it. You can someone can give you that money.
Yeah.
And most people, even the banks told me, said, if that happens, we would help. You know, because we don't want somebody to lose their house for $500.
No.
And because it doesn't help the whole economy. But also, it's the responsibility of the person to pay their taxes. And it doesn't help. And I had a lot of protests last year, even protested in my house, some people. because we foreclosed on property. And I said, you know, it's really disrespectful to the people who pay taxes, that someone that doesn't pay gets a free pass. It's really not, it's not, that's just not right.
I think that that's valid and worth saying. I
Yeah.
think that the people who have worked hard and made the sacrifice, whatever that happens to be, and did what they needed to do, that they deserve to be the benefit of that, and that people who aren't interested in doing that have to pay the consequences of
We
that.
all, I think those other homeowners that do keep their taxes
Right.
current probably have had, at some point in their life, difficulty themselves, but they realized, and I think it's all about priorities in some cases, that they realize how important it is to keep the roof over their head and their children and provide for their family, and that's, that, like I said, I've always appreciated that about Eric, that he's recognizes that it's, the important thing is to give people options to be able to keep their taxes current and to get their taxes that they're behind on, payment plans and every other option you possibly can to keep them in their home, but also to still instill in everyone the importance of keeping their taxes paid. And it's just something that I think a lot of us have always tried our very best to do. There are some that probably it's not as high on their priorities as they would we would like to see, but there's options out there. One of the things too that I wanted to mention that I don't think we've touched on is veterans. There's, through the county, there's programs to help veterans in the through the Veterans Wayne County Veterans Association, the group, that there's money to even help them with, if it's you have a veteran that says, I can't pay my taxes because I have to put a roof on the house. There's money available for them for programs that'll help them do the roof on their house, that'll do some of the rehab of their own property, that they don't have to make that choice.
That's true.
That
Right,
is very
right. We have things. We're very flexible with people. We understand. Some, even our investors. You know, some people are anti-landlord, anti-investor, but I'm not. I'm not anti anyone. I just try to have a reasonable approach to everyone. Some people come in, they buy properties, they're trying very hard to fix them up, you know, and they're spending a lot of money. They're spending a lot of money. New furnaces, new hot water tank, new roofs. They're spending tons of money, and you know, someone steals the furnaces out. They have, you know, break-ins. They have things happen.
Yeah.
So we understand that this. And you want to encourage people to do that, to invest in Wayne County.
cities.
So we want to work with them. You don't want to just say, well, you're having a hard time, too bad, lose your property. So we work with everyone. We work with everyone. It's really, especially people who are trying to make it happen. You know.
Certainly, we try to prioritize those owner-occupied houses, but yes, you're
Yes.
right, those programs are available for a lot of people.
Yes.
And to kind of usurp the state of Michigan's, if you step forward, then we've got tons of programs and
Right.
ways to help, so we can step with you.
Best thing, a piece of advice, I guess, from either of us is that don't just let yourself go into foreclosure without reaching out and letting someone know and asking for help, because there's programs out there to help you. And
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about it, if you know, because you're having a hard time. Just ask for help, and you know what? You feel. Some people tell me they're so relieved once they come and say, I was so afraid to come and talk about it. Now that I'm in the payment plan, I'm relieved.
It's a load
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
My mom says,
Yeah.
nothing beats a failure but a try.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and joining us. I really appreciate it. I love it when our citizens can get that kind of information, and I appreciate the efforts that you guys make to make sure that your constituents and our citizens know exactly what's out there and available to them.
Oh,
That's
thank you,
wonderful.
Thank you, Allison.
Well,
Allison,
Keep up the good
you do a
work.
fantastic
Yeah.
job.
Thank you.
for
I
the citizens of
appreciate it.
Garden City, and
I appreciate
it's
that.
a pleasure working with you.
So, Eric Sabree, Wayne County Treasurer, Glenn Anderson, Wayne County Commission, and just your old friend Allyson Bettis, the Treasurer and City Clerk for the City of Garden City. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thanks for
And
joining
call us. We'll be here to answer any questions that you have. Have a good day.